listening to DJ Cooley. DJ Cooley, the Mix Master exclusive. DJ Cooley.
This scheme for done up. Fuck this scheme.
Oh Lord.
Collier present DJ Cooley.
They used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet. Really, I must still remember the taste of my love. Really, I still smile from your cheeks. Darling, I will be loving you till eternity. Was it for us? Hard at 23. I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just a touch of the hand. Me, I fall in love with you every single day. I just wanna tell you so honey now, hey, take me into your loving arms, yeah. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my feet arms. I'm thinking out loud, baby, we found love right where we are.
LA's fine, sunshine most of the time, and the feeling is laid back.
You're listening to DJ Cooley. DJ Cooley, the Mix Master exclusive. DJ Cooley.
But I'm a Jamaican boy who's born and raised. Nowadays I'm lost between two shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York is home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself. You know I'm there, and no one heard at all, not even the chance.
Oh Jesus.
I
a lot of big dreams. I've made a lot of bad moves. I know you could walk away, but you never do.
I've met a lot of cold hearts. I've learned to smile and deceive. I know I'm hard to be around, but you never leave.
I'm that easy to understand, but you hold out your hand. And you say you love me just as I am. You always treat me the best that you can. You say you want me, need me, love me, baby, just as I am. Just as I am.
I've made a lot of heartaches. I've found a lot of closed doors. When all the others have turned away, you love me more. You love me more.
Girl, I'm not easy to understand, but you hold out your hand. And you say you love me just as I am. You always treat me the best that you can. You say you want me, need me, love me, baby, just as I am. Just as I am. You know I. You are my inspiration.
Yeah, you are.
You know our love was meant to be a kind of love that lasts forever.
Yeah, and I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time.
You should know everywhere I go, you're always on my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Baby, you're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. I wanna have you near me. I wanna have you hear me say it. No one needs you more than I need you.
Yeah, and I know,
Yes, I know.
that it's plain to see. We're so in love when we're together.
No, I know that I need you here with me from tonight until the end of time. You should know everywhere I go, always on my mind. You're in my heart, in my soul. You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. I wanna have you near me. I wanna when you love somebody till the end of time, yeah. When you love somebody, oh, if I need you more than life. When you love somebody till the end of time. When you love somebody, always know when you need them more. When you love somebody till the end of time, yeah. When you love somebody, oh, you are my inspiration.
Yeah, you are. Next.
You know our love was meant to be a kind of love that lasts forever.
And I want you here with me. From tonight. Turn your lights down low and pull your window curtain. Oh, let your moon come shining.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, how are you this morning? You're all looking so beautiful. All right, we have a slight delay. Please accept our apologies, but we will be starting in a few minutes, okay? So please continue to interact with one another. I know you haven't seen many of you. You haven't seen each other for a long time. So continue your interaction until we start, okay? So bear with us.
I want to give you some love. I want to give you some good loving. Oh, yeah, I want to give you some good loving.
Turn your lights down low. Never try to resist. Oh no. Oh, let your love come shining into our lives again. Saying, ooh, I love you. And I want you to know right now. Ooh, I love you. And I want you to know right now that I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good loving. I wanna give you some good loving.
Loving you is like a song I replay every 3 minutes and 30 seconds of every day. And every chorus was written for us to recite. Every beautiful melody of devotion every night. This potion might, this ocean might carry me in the wave of emotion to ask you to marry me. And every word, every second and every third expresses a happiness more clearly than ever heard. And when I play them, every chord is a poem, telling the Lord how grateful I am, cause I know him. The harmonies possess a sensation similar to your caress. If you asking, then I'm telling you it's yes. Stand in love, take my hand in love, God bless. Yes.
I want to give you some good loving. Turn your lights down low.
Right now.
And pull your window curtain.
Right.
let your love come tumbling in into our lives again.
Step right now.
It's been a long time. I got this message for you, boy. I'm waiting on my baby. He may be gone from my side for a while, but I'm not cheating. No, I'm waiting on my baby. No matter what I'm trying, no other guy can give me no better loving. He's giving me happiness, yes. Treats me like a princess, yes. Some I couldn't give him no less, yes. Then the good, better, in the best, yes. Sometime I put him to the test, yes. And him not end up in a no mess, yes. When he's with me, him not see the rest, yes. The man ya deserve my respect, yes. That's why I'm waiting on my baby. He may be gone from my side for a while, but I'm not cheating. No, I'm waiting on my baby. No matter them I try, no other guy can give me no better loving. Yeah, even when he's gone for too long, Cecile still not is the programmer. When my body wants some attention, for reminisce on his kiss, give me satisfaction. So me no one no miss a mention, cause I could never hurt a good man. They don't take my situation to explain, cause them not understand. It's because I'm waiting on my baby. He may be gone from my side for a while, but I'm not cheating.
Put on my best suit, got in my car, race like a jet, all the way to you. Knocked on your door with heart in my head to ask you a question, cause I know that you're an old-fashioned man. Yeah. Can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, cause I need to know. You say I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Tough love, my friend, but the answer is no. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you anyway. Marry that girl, marry you anyway. Marry that girl, yeah, no matter what you say. Marry that girl, and we'll be a family. Why you gotta be so rude? I hate to do this, you leave no choice. Can't live without her. Love me or hate me, we will be boys. Standing at that altar, or we will run away to another guy to say you know she's in love with me. She will go anywhere I go. Can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, cause I need to know. You say I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Double up with my friend, cause the answer's still no. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you anyway. Marry that girl, marry you anyway. Marry that girl, no matter what you say. Marry that girl, and we'll be a family. Why you gotta be so Can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, cause I need to know. You say I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Tough love, my friend. But no still means no.
Hey, excuse me if you see me screaming, but deep in my mind, I'm only dreaming. Cause if I wake, girl, then you're not by my side. I feel like half of me is no longer alive. So please, shorty, before you walk out that door, booby, would you listen to my song?
If only I give you one last chance with the devil, you can no longer tell. You got to be faithful so we could be fruitful. Build a family and follow God's destiny. So just before I run to the block, I might listen to your song.
Before you walk out that door, listen. They said two wrongs don't make it right. So if I'm wrong, I ain't trying to fight. I'm trying to have some dinner with some candlelight. Lay up in the bed and make love all night.
So Bobby, I won't leave, maybe I'll just stay. But promise me that you'll do the same.
Girl, I'ma love you like I never loved.
Touch me like you never touched.
Yo, if you give me the chance,
now,
girl,
baby,
I'm gonna show you.
Stay.
Shine so bright upon you. I will be content, cause I know you would never fail me. Even when my knees are shaking, even when my heart is bleeding. No, oh valley, when I walk in the midst of the valley, my life's in the hands of my daddy. I'm already loved, I'm already chosen. Yeah. So for this life I know they go no, cause me I know this all. Cause my job and I my body. Jireh, you give me peace, you give me purpose, my provider. And when my enemies surround me, got me tied up. When they throw me in the pit inside the fire, you are my God and my King and my Father. Light to my path in the darkness, hope in my heart when they heartless. Father, you reach out and caught us. You're the lover of my soul, love is flawless. They don't understand my God is keeping me high, I know they go low. Cause me, I know they so low. Cause my Jireh and my body, it's a man I need go. You are provider, yeah, you're my provider. You are child, you're my provider. You're my provider, yeah. Be content in every circumstance. Child, When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning, I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing, so when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to the hills, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air, as far as I can. Yeah. As far as I can. I can, yeah. My two hands in the air, as far as I can.
blessed, oh man. Sometimes I'm lost and far from home, but I'll find my way. I follow my heart, I know I'll be found someday. While I'm lost, I learn and live. What do you say? Let's have a good time until that day. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air, as far as I can. Yeah. As far as I can. I can, yeah. My two hands in the air. Lift up your voice, so you know who you are. Shout in love, declare it. Believers anthem. Come on, let's go. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Hey, all I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, for I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power. I work in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm working in power. I work in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Hey. Hey. We are a chosen, come on. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Hey, all I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We're being called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power. I work in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm working in power. I work in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Everybody shout.
I need y'all to run out here. Come on, let me see you. Come on, Jehovah, say it.
Jehovah, you,
Say it.
I trust
In you.
in you.
There you are.
Oh Lord, Jehovah, you,
I trust. Say it.
I
Show
trust
me how to do it, y'all.
in you.
I believe. Say it. Say it.
I believe you. I trust
Come on.
in you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh Lord, Jehovah, you,
Where y'all at? Come on. Come on.
I trust in you.
I believe. Say it.
I believe
You are the God of miracles.
you are the God of miracles.
trust.
I trust in you.
I believe. Say it, everybody say it.
I believe you.
I trust.
I trust in you. Oh,
Yo, get your part over here. I can't hear you. Come on, say it.
I trust
Say it.
in you.
I believe. Say it.
I believe.
You want to
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin. Let me first apologize for our permanent secretary, Mrs. Maureen Dwar, secretary, who is running late, but she will be part of our event today. Event today. So we acknowledge Mrs. Maureen Dwar, permanent secretary, Mrs. Maureen Dwar, permanent secretary, acting in the Ministry of Education and Youth, senior director, human resources management and development, human resources management and development, in the Ministry of Education and Youth. Mr. Canute Boucher. He's also the guest speaker, HR policy, strategic human resources management division, strategic human resources management division, and the public service. Ministry of Finance and the public service. Mrs. Camille Michael Patterson, Mrs. Camille Programs Officer, National College for Educational Leadership. Members of the executive management team, heads of agencies, and all staff members of the Ministry of Education and Youth, administrative professionals, all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Oh, you can do better than that. Good morning. Excellent. And of course, I am Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, and I will be piloting us all through this journey today. How are we feeling? Excellent. And of course, we greet those who are joining us online as we are streaming. So you see, you're large, you're international. Do you agree with me? I tell you, they're sitting here feeling stocious and, so they're not going to be speaking quite loudly, I suppose, ain't it? All righty then. Well, we'll get right into today's program. We are very excited to be honoring today our administrative professionals. And of course, this encompasses the work of our secretaries or administrative assistants or receptionists and other administrative support professionals, central, of course, to any business function. We do not take the work you do lightly. And as you can see by this event, you are a valuable member of our team. Put your hands together for yourselves. The work you do is invaluable. All right. So, of course, we are going to be inviting the presence of the Most High with us today, which is, of course, very fitting. We do nothing without prayer. Do you agree? Excellent. So at this time, I'm going to invite our representative for prayer, I dare say, Minister Camille Michael Patterson, who will come at this time and lead us in prayer.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. I invite you to stand as we evoke the presence of the Lord, who we know is always with us. But we invite him to be with us, especially now. Let us go to God in prayer. Gracious God, we thank you, mighty God, for another day to be in the land of the living. We are grateful, mighty God, that we are all here in our rightful minds. We acknowledge that you are always with us. But Father God, we invite your presence to tabernacle with us this morning as we celebrate our administrators during this professional week of observance. Father God, we ask you to bless each of them individually, the various units and divisions that they serve. We ask you, Lord God, to bless them collectively as they note that today is just a short showing of how we appreciate them for the invaluable work that they do towards making the Ministry of Education and Youth a ministry that is of excellence in everything it does. And so, Father God, I ask you to bless the proceedings. I place the agenda items into your capable hands, mighty God. Lord God, may we all continue to praise and glorify your name during this event. These and other mercies I ask in your precious and holy name. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Michael Patterson. And of course, we're moving right along in today's proceedings. I'm going to invite at this time Mrs. Eileen Donald, Senior Director in the Ministry of Education and Youth Department, the Human Resources Management Department. Please make her welcome. Lovely in white.
Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, Master of Ceremonies, Technical Development Officer from Region 3, Mrs. Juliet Lakeman, Director Human Resource Development, and all other HR directors present, Mr. Kanyut Boucher, Guest Speaker and Director HR Policy, Strategic Human Resource Management Division of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Mrs. Camille Michael Patterson, Programs Officer, National College for Educational Leadership, heads of section who are present, division units, and all other staff members of the Ministry of Education and Youth, administrative professionals, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to you. A pleasant morning. I must also acknowledge, I think I saw him earlier, the staff rep, Mr. Goodison. Where's Mr. Goodison? All right, somewhere as always working. It would be remiss of me not to tender an apology as well for Miss Diane Campbell, our Principal Director, who is unavoidably absent due to competing work events. All right, so you would have heard the apologies being tendered already for the Permanent Secretary, who is going to be a little bit late, but should be here in a little while. Okay, a special welcome to all of you hard-working administrative professionals. Today is your day. It is such a pleasure to pause today to acknowledge not just your work, but your worth. You know why? You rock. Your dedication to service, your selflessness, your professionalism, and your ability to ride the storm, and to at times take a few licks for your supervisors have not gone unnoticed. Talk truth. We love you, we treasure you, and that is why we are hosting this event today in your honor. Let me share with you my own experience with my administrative professional who hails from the beautiful parish of Clarendon. My administrative professional, every morning, she's at her desk before 7, right? And she takes the bus most times. And she's always early. And every morning, I can count on her to send me my schedule for the day. I'll share this with you. This is not just a one-time thing. This is a matter of course, every morning, without my asking her or prompting her to do it. For example, yesterday, good morning, Miss D. Reminder for your meetings today. 2 p.m., meeting with the PMAS unit. 3 p.m., meeting with so-and-so staff. Have a wonderful day. Today, good morning, Mrs. D. Just a reminder for your meetings today. Administrative Professional Day event today, 10. My HR Plus consultation at 1. Have a wonderful day. That's my administrative professional. Want to know her name? Soon tell you her name. I must share with you this experience just last week. Last week, my administrative professional brought a number of correspondence to my desk for review, a lot of them. And I turned to her and I said, wow, that's a lot. She said, I know. And I went through every one of them because she knows that I don't like to keep stuff on my desk, right? I like my desk to be clear, right? And so she sat with me and we went through all of them, what are to be action and so forth, right? And I want to say something. Don't feel that, there are some persons, sad to say in our ministry, that they feel that they have to have files on their decks, stuck up on their decks for them to seem like they are working. Don't be like that. Every document that comes to me represents a person. And I put myself in that person's shoe, waiting for results, waiting for action. And so we action those. So I went through all of them with her. She sat there. And when she was finished, I gave them and gave the instruction what needs to be done and so forth. And then I managed to have a little lunch. And as soon as I finished my lunch, a bigger pile came in. So I said to her, wait, what's going on here? She said, Mrs. D, it was a lot. They all came in and I had them there. But when I realized that it was so much, I divided them in two. So she gave me some before lunch and then gave me some after lunch. She used her judgment. Because it was a lot. So today I celebrate all of you. And I know that it's not just my administrative professional, Mrs. Shauna K. Hilton, who does this. I'm sure others can attest to this, other heads of section. So I just want to acknowledge you today for your work and your worth as mentioned. And want you to know you're all special to us. It is no coincidence that Administrative Professional Day bears the theme, Portraits of Excellence. You exude excellence, not just in your work, but also in your attire. Look at you. You're looking so beautiful. I invite you now to pause and take a look at yourselves. Look at each other. And I want you to say with me, we are portraits of excellence. Everybody. We are portraits of excellence. Let us continue on this path. Say it again, man. I know, well, we are, let me say it and then you say, we are portraits of excellence. Let us continue on this path. Say that to your colleague. We are portraits of excellence. Let us continue on this path. Great. Awesome. So again, welcome and happy Administrative Professional Day to you all.
Wonderful words of reflection from, of course, our Senior Director, Mrs. Eileen Donald. And we can all think of someone in the office who has assisted us in making our lives so much easier. We can think of that one hero, that one unsung hero who saved us at the last minute when there was something that was due and they didn't even take the credit for it. We can think of that one person, those two persons, that team of persons who has made life so much easier because of their presence and their unwavering commitment to the job that they have been entrusted with. So put your hands together for yourselves again. We really value our administrative professionals. Now at this time, I need to pause a little bit because I want to hear from at least 3 of our administrative professionals. Let me have 3 volunteers. No, you volunteer all the time in the office, But let me have 3 volunteers. And if you know of someone who wants to volunteer, but maybe the wrists are a little bit rusty, just volunteer for them. Excellent. Run up here, man. Run up here. Oh, I hear a Priscilla name over here. So we have 1 volunteer. Excellent. Give me 2 more. Anybody by the name of Brian? Maybe a surname Brian or... Oh, Tiana Brian. Come. That name was gently blowing in the wind. Come, Tiana. Clap her on. Cheer her on. Where is Tiana? Is she hiding? Oh, she's right there. Tiana, they're calling you out. Come, man, it's nothing difficult. Come. Excellent. Now I need some testosterone. Is there any man? Come, man, help our men. Help them. Earl Banton, put your hands together for him. Woo! Come, Banton, we can't clap in vain.
Oh, Jesus.
Excellent. Don't worry. We're not going to cause you to sweat or anything of that nature. We do understand today is your day. So we're not... Come up on the stage, man. Come up on the stage. I don't want you down there. You're the VIPs, you know. VIPs. Look at them, your colleagues. Cheer them on. Okay. So the word administrative. I want you to take at least 3 letters from this word and tell us something that makes you a super administrative professional. Come. Yes, I love that music. Dance with me. Yes. All right.
Okay, so initiative. So as an administrator, you have to take initiative. Sometimes your manager might not be there. Well, for me, sometimes my manager isn't there, and I have to take the initiative and say, okay, what would he do if he was there? Assistance. You have to always offer assistance to whomever you report to, because they can't do it alone. And for the T, talented, you must be talented in whatever you do as an administrator or as an administrative assistant.
Excellent. Who's next? Let's pose. Where are the cameras? Are you ready for us now? Excellent.
So I'll start by saying helpful. As administrators, we all have to be helpful to our
You see, she has to ensure that the meeting minutes are perfected, you see, before they are handed over. So let us ensure that the gentleman goes next. Cheer him on, man, cheer him on.
Morning. D for dedicated, because I'm here almost every day. A for aggressive, because as administrators, you know how hard it is to work with the accounts department at times. And she told the I for initiative. So. Let's see, she said V for vision. Or, yeah, V for vision. Because As administrators, you know that it's our duty to have the best interests of the unit and to ensure that we carry it as far as possible. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. You ready for us now? We ready for the road.
All right, so sorry for before, but I'll start with P for being professionals. In the workplace, we can be challenged with many things during the days, but at the end of it, we have to remain as professionals. We're expected to be professionals on a daily basis, no matter what task they throw at you. I'll then move on to management. For M, you have to manage whatever you're given within the workplace. You have to take that initiative, as my colleague says, and I'll move on to attentive. You have to be attentive to detail. This is an everyday thing that we go through. Whenever you do a little minutes, whenever you do a little memo or a letter, you have to ensure that whatever you put in this represents what your boss wants you to say or wants her to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was not pre-rehearsed, and they were able, at short notice, to speak of the work they do and the characteristics that are necessary for carrying out these duties effectively. We heard mention of initiative, assistance, being talented, dedicated, because I'm here, aggressive, vision, professional, management, and attentiveness. Please put your hands together again for our professionals. Thank you so much for making your way to the platform and reminding us of what it takes to be an administrative professional. This sounds like we're about to do an investigation. Interesting. Well, we understand that central to any office function are our administrative professionals. We also understand that the leaders who, of course, assign the various duties and tasks know what it takes to lead a team, but the team knows what it takes to ensure the leader stands. And so I acknowledge a leader amongst us. We failed to acknowledge her earlier, but we will ensure she's acknowledged. She has also been hitting the pavement, you know, with ensuring that this event is a success. None other than Mrs. Juliet Lakeman, Director of the Human Resources Development Department, of course. Excellent. So at this time, I am going to invite someone before the selection who is able to do a poem. You know amongst yourselves that person who does very well with poetry. I hear giggles. Who is that person? Who is that person? Call the name, no man. Call the name, no man. So I hear Wainwright. So I hear Wainwright. And I hear Miller. And I hear Miller. Already prepared. Already prepared. So let us invite invite at this time. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Is it Miss or Mrs.? Is it Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Keon Miller. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. She already has her pre-prepared. Pre-prepared. I know it's on the device. I know it's on the device. Come on, it's the age of technology. As you walk, it will load. Loading. You see, they're ensuring they do the necessary preparation, going over the notes. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry at its best. Please make welcome our poet for the day, Ms. Miller.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's not long, but it's short. It's not long, but it's short. As it speaks to administrative. So here we go. Administrative assistant. Thank you for the endless phone calls you will take. For answering questions all day long. And making sure nothing goes wrong. For all your organization to be for knowing exactly what kind to find and where. Your smile reaches far and near and tells all they are welcome here.
Excellent. Excellent.
We couldn't allow that.
We couldn't allow that to go to waste. You have to discern the things. Put your hands together. Put your hands together for her again. Excellent. 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 And at this time, do we have selection here? Woo. This is my favorite part. I love this instrument. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, to serenade all our administrative professionals. Please put your hands together and make welcome Mr. Daniel John Jackson. Saxophony. 1, 2. Excellent, excellent. What a wonderful serenade. Don't you agree with me? Wow, wow, wow. Awesome, awesome. We want to acknowledge our permanent secretary assigned, Mrs. Maureen Dwyer, BHM JP, who has now stepped into the event to celebrate with our administrative professionals. Let me hear someone give her a round of applause. All right. Now, usually in Jamaica, whenever we hear a wonderful performance, we ask for encore. Would you agree with me that we need an encore? So someone say encore. Mr. Saxophonist, where is he? The administrative professionals have spoken, and they have requested an encore. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's of course honoring the request. And so you know, as is Jamaican custom, we put we hands together when we have an encore. So we welcome back to the stage Mr. Daniel John Jackson. Lovely day we're having here on the grounds of the Ministry of Education and Youth. And of course, we could not have done a lot of what we're doing without the assistance and support of our administrative professionals. So of course, they knew that we needed a refresher, they too. So they requested the encore, which of course we went along with. Put your hands together again for Mr. Daniel. At this time, we are going to invite our permanent secretary as she comes to bring greetings to us all, and most especially our administrative professionals. Please put your hands together and make this beautiful lady welcome as she comes.
So amazing how
that's
this
right.
girl was made. I wonder if now there's a woman.
Watch her strut her stuff. Come on, come on, come on. That's right. Woo!
Gift of life astounds me to this day. I give it up for the woman. She's the choice, she's the choice, she's the choice.
Thank you very much. Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, or Master of Ceremonies, thank you very much. Dr. Cassan Troop, is she here? Maybe online. I want to recognize Mr. Canute Boucher, our guest speaker. Miss Campbell, she's unavoidably absent.
recognizing her in absentia. She was very instrumental in this. Mrs. Eileen Donald, our Senior Director, Human Resource Management and Development. Miss Anelia Wallace-Muir, I am sure she has something to do with the decoration. Tell me yes, no? Our Human Resource Management Head. Mrs. Juliet Lakeman, the enthusiast, the person who insisted that we must have this. Please give her a round of applause. Mrs. Lakeman, thank you. Miss Donna Graham, our Director, Industrial Relations. Mrs. Peter, Director, PMAS. Miss Charmaine, how can I forget Miss Charmaine? Mr. Goodison, Staff Rep. And all of you ladies and gentlemen, you look so beautiful. Good morning to you. I make no sound, sir. Salary pay. It's in there now. Oh my God. Thank you for that. It's in there now. We paid late last night. Then wait now. So, if you're paid from NCB, you know it goes directly. But if you're BNS and you're CIBC and so on, it takes a little while. And if you're from the credit union line, you know it will take a little longer. But we're getting there. Bear with us. In fact, give the team at the accounts department a round of applause. They work hard, you know. But it just never always works out the way it ought to. But they try. I've been there with them. They left here at 10 last night, and the entire weekend they were at it. So we bear with them. All right, so a good morning to you, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to come to you this morning to recognize the very important role that you play in the ministry's life and work. And I suspect we don't have enough words to say how much you're the hands and feet of the persons who own processes in the ministry. I look around the room, the proverbial room, and I notice that you're mainly women. You see why we give it up for the woman? Sir, music man, we give it up for the woman. You're mainly women. And we can't do it without you. And so I'm saying to you this morning that I really am thankful and grateful for the role that you play in anchoring the ministry's activities that we carry out on a daily basis. And this is not to say I don't recognize the men in the room. Romaine, right, Romaine? Stand up, Romaine, and the gentleman down the back there. And the one who's turned his back towards me here. Mr. Banton, and sir, we the women, we're grateful for you, and we respect what you do. Thank you. So today we gather to celebrate Administrative Professionals Day, a day to recognize the invaluable contributions of our administrative staff to the efficient operation of the Ministry of Education and Youth. We are celebrating all 145 of you administrative professionals across the 7 regional offices, all our agencies, divisions, and National Hero Circle, and even here at the Canewood Center. As permanent secretary of this ministry, I really want to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude for your hard work, dedication, and commitment, and to all of the administrative professionals. This was a grammatical error. Sean, I want to hail you. When I came to this ministry, Sean was here. Stand up, Sean. Do you all know Sean? Yes. And yes, and she's been a staple in this ministry. Charmaine, I want to recognize you for the length of service and the quality service that you have given right around the ministry. Stand up, Charmaine. And those of you who have been here for 20 years and more, stand up. Yes, this is a moment for us. This is a moment for us. Mrs. Wainwright. It's a long time she here, you know, she looks really young. You notice how she looks spiffy down there. But I'm telling you, these are stalwarts, all of you who have helped to hold the ministry together for such a long time. I just want to thank you especially. Right, Sean? Sean, you look like a little girl, you know, but people wouldn't know. It's been a long time, so thank you. From managing calendars, organizing meetings, preparing reports, handling phone calls, coordinating travel arrangements, handling a myriad of administrative tasks, our administrative staff plays a critical role in ensuring that our day-to-day operations run smoothly. You are the backbone of the organization. As an administrative professional at the Ministry of Education and Youth, it is crucial that you are consummate with all aspects of your job. This is because you represent the government of Jamaica. And this is your challenge. You serve the public. Your actions and behaviors affect and reflect on the organization. By being professional, you can build a trust, respect, and credibility with your colleagues, your superiors, stakeholders, and you can contribute to the ministry's mission. Now, this is particularly important now, colleagues. This is where I want to drop the script, to say to you, now that we've embarked on a new period of transformation, as a group, I want to challenge you to think about what's your role and how you're going to help us to move the transformation agenda forward. And so I know each one of you here, even though you represent and you are a customer somewhere else in the system, you are customers to each other in this ministry. Does that make sense? And how you do what you do, and how you decide to change what you do, and how you decide to kick up the game a notch is going to be very important to how well we transform this Ministry of Education. Are you all satisfied with how we are now and what we could be in the future? You don't have to answer aloud. But I know if I were to do a survey in this room, there is one thing that each one of you, hi Miss Mulholland, could say to me that you would want improved in this ministry. And so I'm saying, think of yourself as a customer and think of the customers that you serve and then reflect on how better we could do what we do to make sure that we transform this ministry to the place we want it to be. So, firstly, our administrative professionals are experts in time management. Do you manage time well? You juggle tasks and deadlines simultaneously, prioritizing, organizing work to ensure that everything gets done on time, right, Romaine? Date and time and subject? Yes. So, you are masters of efficiency, and your skills in this area are critical to the smooth functioning of this Ministry of Education and Youth, and will be to how we're going to be able to transform. Secondly, our administrative staff plays a vital role in communication. You are the ones who ensure that messages are communicated clearly, effectively, and promptly. You act as liaison between departments, clients, and vendors, ensuring that everyone is on the same page and that projects are completed successfully. Queries and concerns are directed to the appropriate departments. Thirdly, our administrative staff members are the backbone of our organization's operations. You manage everything from office supplies, technology, equipment, to vendor relationship, office maintenance, and more. Sometimes we have to ask you to go over to Clive to buy, what is it called again? That little thing that catches up the stomach while you didn't get your lunch, Romaine, what is it called? Caramel popcorn, or go upstairs to buy a cheese sticks in the planning department as if I didn't know that there's a shop up there. Or to buy one of those Shirley biscuits around the corner from the lady who has a little thing there, or a banana at the corner. So you play so many roles, and we're so grateful because what you do really anchors the system. Lastly, our administrative staff members are the faces of the ministry. And I must tell you, you look beautiful. So your good faces. Hi, Christine. See, I'm hailing my people one by one. Christine has been here longer than 20 years. You hear? She's just pretending. So you are our team on the front line. You are the persons who welcome clients and visitors. Your professionalism and courtesy leaves a lasting impression on everyone that you meet. Ideally, administrative professionals should embody our ministry's values of excellence, professionalism, and commitment to service. In conclusion, Administrative Professionals Day is a special day to honor and to recognize the contribution of our administrative staff to the efficient operation of our corporation here at the ministry. So, as Chief Accounting Officer, Chief Accountable Officer, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for everything you do day in and day out to keep our organization running smoothly. To our admin professional staff, thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and commitment to excellence. You are unsung heroes of our organization. We could not do it without you. And I'm saying this to all our admin staff in all the regions of this Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. Thank you very much. Please enjoy what has been provided for you. You deserve this, and you deserve more. Good morning. Thanks again.
Strength of a woman. Strength of a woman.
Strength of a woman indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, a thought-provoking question was posed in our permanent secretary's greeting. What is your role and how will you help us to move the transformation agenda? We want to ensure that we're all situated into the vision. So where do you fall? What role do you play? How will you help us to move transformation forward? Put your hands together one more time for our permanent secretary, Mrs. Maureen Dwyer. I'm going to step aside at this time to make room for our director within the Human Resources Development Unit to come at this time and introduce our guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Mrs. Juliet Lakeman.
Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, Master of Ceremonies, Technical Development Officer in the Region 3's office, Mrs. Maureen Dwyer, our Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Youth, Mrs. Eileen Donald, Senior Director, Human Resource Management and Development, Ministry of Education and Youth, Mr. Knut Boucher, Guest Speaker and Director, HR Policy, Strategic Human Resource Management Division, Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Mrs. Camille Michael Patterson, Programs Officer, National College for Educational Leadership, members of the Executive Management Team, heads of agencies, and all staff members of the Ministry of Education and Youth, administrative professionals, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and those who joined us in virtual space. Good morning. Mr. Kenneth Boucher is a career civil servant whose journey in the public service began when he assumed the duties of case officer in the Administrator General's Department in 2002. His quest for growth and development later led him to join the Premier Office of the Prime Minister in 2007 in the capacity of Senior Human Resource Officer. He later transitioned to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service in 2013 and then to the Office of the Cabinet in 2016 as Modernization Program Coordinator. He has returned to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service since October 2020, providing support through and gathering experience in the areas of human resource management, performance management, human resource policy, and project management. On a personal note, he is a fun-loving person with a good sense of humor, and he's also a husband and a father. Please make him welcome. Thank you.
Here I come with love and I daydream. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life.
A very pleasant good afternoon to everyone. Let me begin by acknowledging Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, our Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Maureen Dwyer, our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Donald, Senior Director in the Ministry of Education and Youth. And we also acknowledge Mrs. Camille Michael Patterson, the members of the Executive Management Team, the heads of agencies, all of the staff, members of the Ministry of Education and Youth, and the primary focus, the main persons today, the administrative professionals, good, and the other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our online viewers. Good morning to you all. It's actually my privilege and honor to be here today. Now, when I accepted the invitation to come and be the guest speaker, a lot of things crossed my mind. How would I relate to administrative professionals? Where do I begin? What do I know? Now, as time would have it, my career, I've actually started in recruitment and selection. So I got a first-hand glimpse of what it was like to have fit for purpose and the right persons in place. And I can tell you that without administrative professionals, the organization cannot run. Now, I don't want to overstep any boundaries, but if I may, P.S., one of the things that I know is that, especially in the Office of the Permanent Secretary, that's where you know your pedigree, that's where you know the type of administrative professional that exists in the entity. I was always schooled on this. There are two persons you're going to be finding in the Office of the Permanent Secretary. You're going to find the bulldog, and you're going to find the person who is calm. Now, here's how you know the difference between the two. When the pressure mounts, and the Permanent Secretary has to have laser focus on one issue, you get the bulldog. When you call, may I speak to the Permanent Secretary? That's when the bulldog starts to bite. Starts to bark, I should say. No, you have the other person who is more docile. The person who comes down. May I speak to the Permanent Secretary? I require this, I require that. Sure, how may I help? And that's the person that will give you their name, ask for the follow-up, things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me say to all of you, you are of a particular pedigree, serving in your capacity as administrative professional. And I want you to put your hands together for yourself. Let me share something with you that was done by a poet. His name is Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and it's not unfamiliar to any of you, but I believe it's appropriate for our occasion today. The heights of great men, reached and kept, were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. No, administrative professionals, your task is not easy. P.S. earlier mentioned you and said that you are the unsung heroes. I doubt persons would understand what your 365-day cycle entails and what it looks like. I don't think they understand your early commitments, your discipline, how it is that you exercise your stick-to-itiveness to your tasks, how you get them done, and how it is that at the end of what needs to be done, how you just remove yourself so that other things can continue. You may think that you are not seen, you may think that you are not observed, but just as was highlighted in this poem, you are great men, great women. You are of a special type of pedigree. You possess something that drives you. This is what marks your identity. Now, when it comes on to being an administrative professional, you have a plethora of job titles. But what makes the administrative professional stand out is their character, their identity. Unassuming on the outside, but there is something on the inside of them that drives them. Now, for all of you who are here, I know without the shadow of a doubt that there is something that you possess that drives you. It is that inner drive that translates and manifests itself into what comes out in the organization. Now, a simple question that we can ask, just to put everything in perspective, is where would the Ministry of Education, where would the public sector be without administrative professionals? You put any one of the administrative professionals in a corner or do not allow them to exercise their functions, and you're going to see some disruption in the public sector like you have never seen before. Let me share an example with you of what I mean. Now, I'm already here. There's nothing I can do from here to really carry out my duties. However, I have an administrator. And so while I was here tending to other tasks, one of the first things that I did, what do you think it was? To call my administrator, to get something straight and to give some instructions. So now I'm actually more at ease and at rest, so I can actually now address you. Had it not been for the presence and the participation and the willingness of that administrative professional, you know what would have been happening? I would have been up here sweating bullets. I do not take the administrative professionals for granted. I don't, because that's just the type of person that I am. But apart from that, let me tell you why. I've had a journey in the public sector. I was always told that the public sector is your oyster. That information and that advice I'm also sharing with you. But for each level that I was able to graduate from and to graduate to, I always acknowledged the administrative professional, because they are always there every single step of the way. No matter how high in an organization you get, you have to work with and rely on an administrative professional. These are not just empty words that I'm speaking to you. This is from my own personal experience. And even as I look out, I am actually seeing persons nodding their head. So I know that there are a few other persons that also have this as their testimony. But I wanted to take a journey with me. Let's start to look into and dissect some of what is present with us today. Now we hear things like administrative professional, and then now it just becomes this term that persons just throw around. But I want us to actually investigate it. I want us to probe it a little bit. I want us to do something with administrative professional so that the next time you are referred to in that way, it becomes more personal and you assign more meaning and value to it. Now, based on an online description or definition of administrative, let me read to you what it says. It says, for administrative, relating to the running of a business or organization. All right, let's now dissect professional. Engaged in a specified activity as one means occupation rather than as a pastime. Let's put now those two definitions together and have a flowing definition of administrative professional. And this is what I want to relate to you, and this is how I want you to identify yourself. An administrative professional is someone who is engaged in a specified activity as their main occupation rather than as their pastime. And let me tell you why this is so significant and important. Because I looked up what was the opposite of the professional. You know what that is? An amateur. None of you here qualify for that. So if not for any other reason at all, hold your heads high. You occupy and operate from a space that is designated for persons of a certain caliber. Persons who are engaged in a particular type of activity. So I want you to once more put your hands together for yourself. Listen, I don't want you to be shy to shower yourself with blessings because today is your day. So put your hands together for yourself. Good. Now, as we take this journey, we are recognizing within a week a particular day. But what is the genesis or the history of what we celebrate now as Administrative Professionals Day? Well, I'll tell you. Let's go as far back as World War II. What was happening in World War II was that there was a shortage of people across the labor market. So certain skills were lacking, especially those of an administrative professional. There were other things that affected the labor market to include the birth rate. There was a decline because of the Depression era. Notwithstanding, in the wonderful year of 1942, do you know what happened? There was a National Secretaries Association that was formed. Now I wanted to take this journey with me. You remember earlier I said that for me it's not about the title. So let's just bear that in mind. But what was formed in 1942 was the National Secretaries Association. Now they wanted to recognize the contributions of administrative personnel where? To the economy. They wanted to support their development and they wanted to attract workers to the field. Now during the first year as an association, they then created the National Administrative Professionals Day. Everybody still with me on the journey? Very good. Now, there was a designated moment of celebration which was first dictated by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, who was then Charles Sawyer. And then now you had what we would call National Secretaries Week. That was originally held from June 1 to June 7. However, after some time had passed, we're looking about just around 1955, the Secretaries Week was moved to the last full week of April, and the designated day to celebrate would have been the Wednesday of that last full week. So in 1981, the name was changed to Professional Secretaries Week. But in the year 2000, it became what we now know and are celebrating as Administrative Professionals Week. And they did this to include a wide range of responsibilities, job titles of the administrative staff in the modern economy. The day has undergone some name changes, but the initial goal, which is to celebrate and recognize all the hard work of the administrative generals, has remained. Administrative professionals, has remained. Now, let's talk about some of the work that you do as administrative professionals. I'm sure each one of you has been furnished with what we like to describe an instrument, a job description. I think I am actually in a position where I can presume that within the first month, you exhausted and exceeded, and to this day, go far beyond anything that can be contained in 4 or 5 pages of a job description. If I am right, you can smile, you can clap, you can shake your head. Good. I believe I'm right. No. Here's the thing about an administrative professional. The type of job and service that you offer. Earlier when Mr. Banton and the other persons who were here spoke about initiative and vision, these are things that you cannot put on the job description because there are going to be circumstances that arise that test the mettle of who you are. When it is that you apply yourself in those situations, that's when the organization understands the value of the person that they have. And believe me, if it has never been said to you before, let me use the opportunity on behalf of the Ministry of Youth, on behalf of your colleagues, on behalf of the public sector, and on behalf of the country of Jamaica, let me really compose and poise myself to say thank you. Thank you so very, very much. We have a theme that we're celebrating. Portraits of excellence. Now, this is something that I also wanted to personalize and internalize. And this is how I intend to make this theme something that you can grasp and hold on to. There are many paintings that are done. And there's a way in which you proceed to do a painting so that what you end up with is a masterpiece. It goes without saying that all of you are a masterpiece. Good, I see somebody pointing to themselves. Yes, you are a masterpiece. You can own it. Here are some steps in creating a masterpiece and doing a portrait, one that will be excellent. Now what we're going to do, or what I'm going to ask you to do, is that as you listen to how it is that you would create, use a canvas to arrive at a masterpiece, I want you to personalize and internalize what would be done for you. Firstly, you are a precious commodity. And in beginning with a portrait, you have to select the type of paint that you're going to use. The type of paint that you're going to use is going to be an oil paint. Now, oil is important because as a commodity, we know that from oil, there are so many other things that you derive. But one of the main things from that source of oil is energy. That's something that as an administrative professional, all of you will need to maintain, that sense of energy. Because you need that drive that's going to help you to go above and beyond. So let's begin with the oil, which represents your drive. It's what pours out of you to create all of the masterpieces, all of the things that are necessary to be done, but importantly, it also fills the gaps. So pour out of yourself so that you'll be able to create as necessary, but fill gaps also as necessary. And notice one thing about the oil, it is always near the palette. Now, your environment in which you work, that's your palette. That's the space that you're going to make beautiful. That's the space that you've come in to fill all of the gaps. Be prepared to create something that is beautiful. But let's move on from there. So now you have the oil. What comes next? The selection of the brushes. Now as you know, you need a master crafter's hand, one that is measured if it is that you're going to arrive at an excellent portrait. Now, it is suggested when you're doing oil paintings that you use brushes developed in line with precise specifications to create small sections for a photorealist look. You have a specific caliber. Now, these brushes, they come in various sizes, they come in various lengths, they come in various dimensions. You are no different. There is a certain dimension to you. There's a certain depth to you. There's a certain way in which you are measured in terms of your character and other things that are not seen on the outside, but from within. So as you consider those brushes, know that there's a certain stroke. Know that there's a certain mark that you are leaving every day that you are operating in your environment. Now, these brushes hold plenty of paint, and it's for one reason: to make ready a work of art. So every day, please, I want you to just remind yourself that you are coming in to once more leave a mark and create a work of art. Are we all still here on the journey? Good. Now, more than likely, you will have an image. You know in the end what you want the masterpiece to look like. This is now where you start to sketch or trace. This is how you know the outline of your environment. And which professional here does not know their existing environment like the back of their hand? You know all the things that will make it work, all the things that are necessary for input, all the outputs that can be expected. So begin now to trace and have an idea of the outline of your environment. Now, if you are doing a portrait of someone's face, one of the things that they recommend is that you fill in the eyes. Why are the eyes necessary? Now, some persons say that it's the window to the soul, but for our particular reference here today, every professional in here has a vision. What happened is that you came in, you saw something, not for what it is, but for what it can be. I'm sure many of you have asked yourself, what can I do to make this better, this space better, this process better? How can I help the persons who I'm supporting more? Now, I believe it was Pierce or someone who spoke and said that we are all customers. There's a difference that will occur when it is that you treat your colleagues as customers. Now, administrative professionals, I didn't write the rules, I just have to play by them. And unfortunately, a lot of the creating and the carving in terms of how the organization should look falls squarely on the shoulders of who? The administrative professionals. Because in many cases, guess who is the first point of contact? In order for a lot of persons to get to a senior director, a director, or even a permanent secretary, who do you think they have to interact with first? The administrative professional. So you see, unfortunately, it's a heavy burden, but it's one that you have to bear. But I remind you again, you have something that you possess inside, and you're a certain caliber. That's how we know that you are able to deliver. But let's move on from there as we look at how we are going to create our masterpiece. One of the things you want to do with your painting is that you want to block in the dark areas from very early. What does this mean for you? You have to overcome the darkest areas to appreciate the light. Just over the weekend, we had some rain. It was overcast. When it rains, it makes things difficult for you when you want to go out and certain other engagements. I'm using it as a metaphor to say that some days are going to be rainy. Some days are going to be sunny. Some days are going to be dark, but you have to be able to see the light. You have to actually even be a light bearer. There are going to be days when your colleagues are down, and guess what? You have to be the one to motivate them. So administrative professionals from very early recognize the sources of darkness so that you are able to capitalize on the areas of light. Now, as we start to put our masterpiece together, what else do you think is needed? I mean, we've blocked off these dark areas. We have focused on the eyes. We have filled our brushes with paint. We are driving ourselves. Now, this is what you do. You start to blend in. You don't assume control. You just begin the process of fitting in. Because guess what? A lot of what happens in the environment is shaped around you. I can tell you, first and foremost, wherever I go, that first impression, that person who I make contact with first, is going to tell me what I should expect for the rest of the way in the organization. So you begin to fit in. You don't assume control, but you just begin the process of fitting in. Thereafter, you focus on the dimensions of your environment. You know why you do this? You do this to give it depth. Remember now, we're talking about something that only existed in the mind of somebody at one point. When we talk about a portrait of excellence. But it's something that we're going to bring to light because we want to focus persons on a work of art. you have to bring dimension and depth to your environment. You have to be able to give it depth and create a perspective from every angle. So that the next time somebody walks into the HR department, they can say, you know what, this must be the best division. And the next time they walk into office services, they must say, you know what, this is the best division, etc., etc. So from every single angle, you now create a perspective. We're almost there. Just bear with me a little while longer. Now you add the details and you make adjustments. Now remember the vision that you started with? Here is where it starts to come alive in a new way. This is where you get image-centric. This is the image-centric portion of the portrait. This is where you start to pay attention to all the little details. Now, when somebody, for example, would ask you for a job letter, it's nice that they just get the job letter, but guess what? When you see that job letter produced, probably on a, personally, I like Times New Roman font, in italic, properly spaced. You know, you have the address line and you have the Dear Sir line, all of the things that would need to be there. Even those little things in terms of the details, those are some things that really mark excellence. And those are some of the little details you have to pay attention to. Because as administrative professionals, I say again, there's a heavy burden on you, but you are really there to create a sense of excellence. Let's continue. Now you display your perspective. You no longer see things in black and white. You know, one of the best questions you can ask is why. But a better question to ask is why not? So this is the way that things have been done for years. You came and you inherited, and this is the way it has always been done. Why not? Why don't you try something new? You have a vision. You know what works. You have a way in which you can advance that vision. You know what will be the result. Why not be bold enough? Some of the best work of art, you know what they are? Abstract. Nobody can make them out immediately. But when you start to explain and say, this is what you're seeing here and this is what you're seeing here, people get it. I want you to become as fluid as that abstract work of art. But I also want you to take risks. All within reason, of course, but take risks and bring other persons into your vision so that they can start to understand how it is that you want to affect your environment. Now, this is where you have to focus on how it is that you will be excellent. Every fine work of art has lighting. That lighting brings it alive. I want you as administrative professionals to be a consistent bright light. My encouragement to you is to shine where you are, flourish and bloom wherever you are planted. I know that there are challenges. Many of you may have varying emotions, mixed emotions, because of where you are, what you'd like to do, etc. But for the moment and the time being, where you are, there is purpose and a reason why you are there. While you are there, shine. While you are there, flourish. You have the opportunity where you are to create a legacy. You have an opportunity where you are and with what you are doing to actually expand and create a path so that somebody else will come and say, wow, I have big shoes to fill. You can be a trailblazer where you are. And you see, it's one thing when you aim just to get things done, but it's another thing when you are aiming for excellence. Now, if truly you want to be portraits of excellence, these are some of the things that you're going to have to do. And I mention again, I did not write the rules, but just like you, I have to play by them. So if you accept what I'm saying, you can apply it to yourself. Now, I want you to paint your background. Don't think competition, think collaboration. How can you work together to make that space that you're operating in that much better? What can you do to move the needle? What can you do to just help it along, help a process along, help a person along? So start to paint your background. Don't think competition, but think what? Collaboration. Let me move into something else. We've completed that journey where it concerns how you would do a masterpiece. Let's speak about an actual masterpiece. No, there are some very valuable paintings in the world. But there is one that's probably most known and most familiar to persons. Do you know what that portrait is? Anybody has an idea of what that portrait is? The most popular portrait that exists in the world right now. The Last Supper, close, but that's not the one. The Mona Lisa. There you go. So the PS has applied it to herself, right? The Nat King Cole version. No. The Mona Lisa, I want you to listen to this. It was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Everybody in here knows that name. This painting was done in the 18th century. And 200 years later, we still remember the name of the person who did that portrait. I would love for your name to be remembered in that way. But let's speak about something else. Let's talk about the value of this painting. In 1962, the painting was valued at 100 million. Now, as you know, when you adjust for inflation and other things, present day valuation will be quite different. I'd like you to muster a guess as to how much that painting was valued as at 2022. So in 1962, it was 100 million. In 2022, which was last year, how much do you think it was worth? 1 billion. We're guessing here, you have no obligation whatsoever. You can't be wrong. So some person said 1 billion. Some people said 5 million. So 5 billion. Almost 10 billion. Trillion. All right. But let me tell you, the actual value was 860 million. But guess what? None of you were wrong in what you estimated. You know why? You understand how things should appreciate, and you know the value of what something should be. I want you to ascribe that to yourself, so that year by year, just as in 2022, there was one value, I want you as administrative professionals in 2023 to have a higher value. Come next year, I want you to have a higher value than that. So just as the Mona Lisa, I want you with time to age with grace and to also increase in value and to also have a certain type of stature. Is that something that I can issue to you as a charge? Good. You're all witnesses to yourself now, right? So you must hold yourself accountable. And I'm going to help you where that is concerned. Now, I want to close off by just sharing a few things with you. First and foremost, it takes a certain type of individual to work in the environment that you work, to undergo the pressures that you undergo, and to leave one day and to come back and do it again. No doubt you have been around people where you would have wanted to speak up a little bit more, you would have wanted your ideas to be heard more, whatever it is. But you exercised a keen virtue, one of humility. I want to applaud you for being so humble. And I want to say to you that humility is your greatest capacity. For those of us who are believers, we know that it is said that God does what? Resists the proud, but he gives grace to who? The humble. So humble yourself and what? You shall be in due season. Good. And the word of God is inerrant. Humility is your greatest capacity. I also want to remind you of another thing. Purpose. Every day that you come to work, I'm going to ask you to establish a why. Know your why, because that is what is going to get you out of bed when you feel like snoozing the alarm, when it is that you wonder why it is that you have to wait so long on the bus, when it is that you're dealing with all of the traffic, when it is that you're dealing with all of the delays, when you're dealing with all of the setbacks and the hurdles that you face. establish a why. Now, I'd like to share with you, earlier I was introduced, and you all know my name, but there's something else that I'd like to share with you. I'm a public servant. I'm a leader. I'm responsible for using my strengths to create and to maintain the positive relationships that meet the needs of Jamaicans. I'm future-oriented, I'm inspiring, and I am performance-driven. And I normally hold there for a round of applause. Oh, thank you so much. But what I just recited is a leadership statement. That's something that we want every public servant to be able to recite, to personalize, and to internalize. Now, when it comes down to leadership, I want you to remember this. It exists not only in terms of authority, where it is hierarchical, but it also exists aspirationally. Everybody aspirationally can be a leader. Administrative professionals, you can be leaders. I need you to understand that what you are responsible for doing is very important. Please establish your why, because it will carry you through. And another thing I want to highlight is passion. I believe it was Martin Luther King who said, listen, if you are going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. Whatever it is that you take up to do, have some passion behind it. Fuel that passion. You'll be amazed at what it is that you're doing, both for yourself, for your environment, for your colleagues, for your entity. But guess what? Your passion is actually something that translates into the citizenry. Believe it or not, from where you operate, you affect the lives of Jamaicans on the outside. So do not think it's strange in what it is that you're doing. So please, I ask you, increase your passion. Apply passion. If you don't have a passion, please find it and fuel your why. Now, one of the things that tends to happen, unfortunately, when it comes on to administrative professionals is that some persons tend to overlook them, condescend and look down on them. That's a very unfortunate thing that can make anybody feel small. But this is something that the Bible says in Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10. Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. There are a lot of people who by their own evaluation they thought that they were small. Moses said to God, you can choose anybody else but me. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, I'm the least of my father's house, somebody else you're looking for. And of course, David had 7 other brothers, and all of them were paraded before the prophet, and he was left for last. But who do you think became the king and ruler over Israel and the champion of the army of God? Every forest that you see is cut down by an axe. Don't let anybody diminish you in your size, and don't think that because of your size you're not able to do great things. And I want you every now and again to take some breaks. One of the things that is being focused on right now is mental health. Take a break sometimes. Stop and ask yourself, am I present? If you ask yourself, am I present, you should be able to generate a response. So take some breaths, be present. And now, I actually have 2 things that I want to leave with you. These are things that are in your hand. I don't have enough for everybody, but certainly I'm sure that you can share. We all make mistakes. And we all want to start over. We all want to do things fresh. New Year's resolution, January the 1st. That's normally the time when, we're most enthusiastic. And this year I'm going to do this, and this year I'm going to do that. February the 1st, nobody remembers the resolutions. I want to share with you today a blank calendar. This way you're not bound to any specific date. But every single day that you get up, you can strive for more, and you can achieve. So I want to give you this blank calendar. The other thing I want to give you, I want to preface it with a question. What does your future self want to tell your present self to prepare for in the next 5 years so that you will be the best that you can be? What does your future self, so this is you 5, 10 years down the line, what does that version of yourself want to tell you in your present state about what you should be doing to prepare to be your best self? That's not a question that I expect you to answer now. But another resource I'm going to leave with you is a website, futureme.org. And what you do there is that it's an online application where you write a letter to yourself in the future for some things that you're going to commit to, who you will be, things that you will accomplish, etc. And what happens is that you are going to be the one that holds yourself accountable to all of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, the way I started, I want to finish. The heights of great men, reached and kept, were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were upward toiling through the night. Administrative professionals, enjoy your day. You are indeed portraits of excellence, and let me say on behalf of everybody who wants to say it, who has not had the opportunity to say it, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Portraits of excellence. Sketch or know the outline of your environment. Block in the dark areas early to appreciate the light. Display the perspective. He has spoken to the hearts of those seated here and the over 100 viewers online. And so to say thank you or express gratitude even better than I can, ladies and gentlemen, we invite Miss Andrea Mills, Senior Secretary, to express gratitude on your behalf.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone seated here this afternoon, the executive, all secretaries, all professional administrators. I want to pause to say thank you to Mr. Canute Bechet for such an inspiring. It is a charge that I think that we should all try to keep. There was a part that came out, Mr. Bechet and professionals, about value. I think that we should all try to remember that. Sometimes we really don't value ourselves, but based upon this charge that was given from Mr. Bechet today, I want us all to embrace the charge that we got today. Remember that we're to value ourselves. We're important to the organization, and without us, it will not function. Let all that was said be indelible written in your hearts today. And so, the picture that we paint, the portrait that we paint, will be a great one. It will add value to the ministry. Persons who come will want to follow that portrait and even make it a better one. So on behalf of all administrative professionals in the Ministry of Education and Youth, we want to say a big thank you. We appreciate it. And we look forward to having another one. It was so wonderful. The charge was great. And we all are going to keep all those things that you mentioned indelibly in our minds and strive for portraits of excellence.
And to show you how I care, I thank you. I just wanna say thank you for
excellent. I'm telling you, let us put our hands together for the person who is treating with the selections. Man, I tell you, in Jamaica they call him a selector. Excellent, excellent. We're moving along quite nicely, don't you think? Don't you think? And we're getting to the part where many of us appreciate very much. The part where we not only entice the mind, but the body. Anyone here loves a good lunch? You don't love a good lunch? Are you on fasting? So we're really excited that we're now in the lunch hour. But before we proceed into our meals, let me invite everyone at this time to stand as we will have a moment of silence. In the midst of it all, we have lost some of our unsung heroes in the persons of Miss Leonie Banks and Mrs. Kenichia Williams Splat. And so we want to take a moment of silence to remember them. May the life we live be one of purpose. May we never take for granted any day that we're given the breath of life. May their souls rest in peace. You may be seated. Now, earlier we were serenaded by Mr. Daniel John Jackson, and he has not left. And of course, who loves a good meal with good music? Anyone loves that? You don't love that? Yes. So of course, in this ministry, we care very much about the mental health of all our administrative professionals. And so as you eat, as you dine, we want you to be serenaded. So ladies and gentlemen, gracing the stage once again, whilst we enjoy our meals, is Mr. Daniel John Jackson. Don't worry, he's not yet through. But now that most tables have a meal before them, are you with me? Now that most tables have a meal before them, are you with me? For those who have the meals before them, rest the forks a little bit. And after 3, we're going to say for health and strength. After 3, 1, 2, 3. For health and strength. Excellent. Do enjoy your meals. Thank you so much, Mr. Saxophonist. And at this time, taking over with a serenade, ladies and gentlemen, our very own DJ Kooley.
Represent DJ Kooley.
You
hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it when the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid.
I was tired of my lady. We'd been together too long. Like a worn-out recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed. And in the personal columns, there was this letter I read. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, pina coladas, get caught in the rain. If you have a brain, if you're not into yoga, if you like making love and if you have a brain in the dudes of the cake, then I'm the love that you've looked for. Write to me and escape. About my lady, I know that sounds kind of mean, but me and my old lady have fallen into the same old routine. So I wrote to the paper, took out a personal ad, and though I'm nobody's poet, I thought it
to DJ Cooley. DJ Cooley, the Mix Master exclusive. DJ Cooley.
It's gotta be night and day, just a matter of time. And we got nothing to do. We are all up. We're coming in out and we don't want. We are, and we never we are devotion. And we got nothing to fix, and we got nothing to fix, and we got nothing to
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. Never seen so many men ask you if you wanted to dance. Looking for a little romance, give out half a chance. I have never seen that dress you're wearing, all the highlights in your hair that catch your eye. I have been blind, lady in red is dancing with me, cheek to cheek. There's nobody here. It's just you and me. It's where I wanna be. I hardly know. There's beauty by my side. I'll never forget the way you look tonight.
Members only, it's a private party. Don't need no money to qualify. Don't bring your checkbook, bring your broken heart. 'Cause it's members only tonight. Say you lost your woman, say you lost your man. You got a lot of problems all in your life. Well, they throw in a party for the broken hearted, and it's members only tonight. Go tell mama, go tell daddy, red or yellow, black or white. Throw in a party, all for the sad and lonely. It's members only tonight. Members only, it's a private party. Don't need no money to qualify. Don't bring your checkbook, bring your broken heart. 'Cause it's members only tonight.
never leave, 'cause baby, I believe in this love, sweet love. Let me cry like that's your name. I feel no shame of love, sweet love. Don't you ever come away. It'll always be this way. There's no stronger love in this world. Oh, baby, no, you're my man, I'm your girl. I'll never go. Wait and see, can't be wrong. Don't you know this is where you belong? So true, funny how it seems, always in time, but never in line for dreams. Head over heels, went to toe. This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound. I bought a ticket to the world, but now I've come back again. Why do I find it hard to write the next line? Oh, I want the truth to be said. I know this much is true. I know this much is
Your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest doubt. You're my savior when I'm old. And you may not think I care for you when you know down inside that I really do. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools,
DJ Cooley, the Mix Master exclusive. DJ Cooley. DJ Cooley.
Oh, I'm so glad when they come, because I'll see your smiling face. No, you don't know where I'm coming from. Oh, no. Then in my heart you have a place.
Here we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, I can see that indeed we are having a wonderful time. I see some people that indeed we are having a wonderful time. Some people singing. I see some people put your hands together for DJ Cooley. Some people singing.
This is DJ
Put your hands
Cooley.
together everybody
for DJ
clapping, man.
Cooley.
You say I'm not doing a good job? Oh, nice,
This is
nice.
DJ
I don't see
Cooley.
everybody clapping, man. You
Sure.
say I'm not doing a good job? Oh, nice, nice.
All right,
Excellent. We are
Sure.
at that point in our program
All
of
right,
events. We are at
when we
that
don't
point
just want to honor you
in
with
our
something that
program
will
of
stay
events, but something that
When we
you
don't
can take
just
with
want
you,
to honor you with something that
we know
will
that
stay
you
here.
are many,
but something
and
that
varied.
you can take with you.
And so we'll call the
We know that
name of
you
the
are
units
many
and ask
and
a
varied.
representative from each
And so we'll
unit
call the
to come and
name of
accept
the
the
units
token and ask a
So I will
representative
call the
from
name of
each
the unit
unit
and
to
once
come and
you
accept
have the name of
token.
your unit,
a
So
representative.
I will call the name of a unit.
Present yourself.
And once you have
That
the
way
name
it's a
of
little
your
more
unit,
tidy. You
a
agree with me?
representative.
Yes.
And present yourself.
And of course we know
That way it's
as
a little more
Jamaican
tidy.
people say
You
the sun
agree
is
with me?
ripe.
Yes.
So I know that
And of
after
course we know,
eating, as Jamaican people say, the
in
sun is
this
ripe.
heat,
So I know that after
I'm sure that
eating,
or ethnicity
in this heat,
will I'm sure that
Take over.
or ethnicity
that's the best way I can
will
put it on this platform.
take
Okay, so who are the persons
That's the best
who will
way
be
I can
assisting
put
me
it on
on
this
this platform? Let me ask you to
so who are the
position
persons
yourselves
who will be assisting
so
me? Are
that
they
we
available?
can move
Let me ask you to
expeditiously
position
with
yourselves
handing out the tokens
so that we can
also
move
ask
expeditiously
that a little background
handing out the
music really
tokens.
low.
We also
DJ
ask
Cooley,
that
is
a
there
little
as
background music really low. Okay,
DJ
excellent.
Cooley,
So we will ask
is there as we
Mr. Boucher to assist.
with
Okay,
the
excellent.
first set
So
of
we will
tokens.
ask Mr.
Thereafter,
Boucher to assist.
we will ask
with the first
Mrs. set of tokens
Donald
to
thereafter
support the remaining
we will ask
gifts.
Mrs. Donald.
All right.
So
to
we
support the remaining.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. You see, the
All right.
leaders have
So
decided we will serve today. Okay, nice.
And so
love it. Love it.
I'm
You
going
see,
to
the
also
leaders have
invite,
decided we will serve
Mrs.
today.
Juliet Legman to
and
support
so
the
I'm going
process.
to also invite.
So we will begin with
Hero
Mrs.
Circle.
Juliet Legman to support the
Office
process.
of the Prime Minister. So we will begin with Hero Circle. Office of the Prime Minister. I'm joking.
Nobody can cross it. Nobody can cross it.
No shakiness. All right. Are we ready again?
I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Nobody will know the paranoia.
We call at this time the tertiary unit. So representative from the tertiary unit.
Inside my grave. 'Cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you.
Compliance unit and post audit.
People, they don't really know you.
Where's the photographer? Oh man, we have to catch these moments, you know. Some people ensure they wear their Sunday best today, you know. And the Saturday best. Can't leave out those, you know. And I'm one of them. And the Saturday best. Can't leave out those, you know. And I'm one of them. Is a member of the compliance unit, yeah? Excellent. All right. So, is the member of the compliance unit, yeah? Excellent. National Mathematics Program. National Mathematics Program. Mathematics in the house. Next in line will be the Media Services Unit. Media Services. Next in line will be the Media Services Unit. Media Services. Now we'll have internal audit. Now we'll have internal audit. Internal audit, anyone? Excellent. Following her, we
we will have the National Education Trust. Excellent. Following her, we will have the National Education Trust. Vocational unit. So on stage we have technical vocational unit. So on stage we have NET. Anyone from the tech voc unit? Anyone from the tech voc unit? Next in line will be executive services. Next in line will be executive services. Coming up next is the Independent Schools Unit. Coming up next is the Independent Schools Unit. The next one I'm about to call may need or require 2 representatives. The next one I'm about to call may need or require 2 representatives. Let's hear it for JTech. I don't think one muscle is required here. I don't think one muscle is required here. National College on Educational Leadership. NCEL. National College on Educational Leadership. NCEL. Was anyone here from Independent Schools Unit? Was anyone here from Independent Schools Unit? Information Communication Technology, ICT. Information Communication Technology, ICT. Next in line we have Office of the Chief Education Officer. Next in line we have Office of the Chief Education Officer. Oh wow. Wow wow. Oh wow. Wow wow. And you know we can't do it without safety and security. And you know we can't do it without safety and security. Coming up next, we
to invite Mrs. Iolyn Donald. At this time, we're going to invite to come. We thank
Mrs.
you
Iolyn
so much,
Donald.
Mr. Boucher. To come. We thank you so much, Mr. Boucher. Services unit to join the beautiful lady on stage. Let me invite the technical services unit to join the beautiful lady on stage. Technical services unit. Yes. Put your hands together. She's coming. Yes. Of the Honorable Minister. Any representative? We invite the office of the Honorable Minister. Any representative here at this time? It's a very busy office, you know, so... Oh dear. Well, it's a very busy office, you know, so... While she's on her way, we invite the Education and Assessment Unit. While she's on her way, we invite the Education and Assessment Unit. Anyone from the SAU? Anyone from the SAU? Enterprise School Management System. Anyone from that unit here? Enterprise School Management System. Excellent. Anyone from that unit here? Excellent. Unit. Is there anyone here from the Project Management Unit? Project Management Unit? Anyone here? Nice! Project Management Unit? She's on her way? Nice! It's time to sort your shoulders and don't love the madness. What's got you going crazy? It's time to get out. Step out into the street. That's right, shut your stuff down. Make your unit proud. That's right, shut your stuff down. Make your unit proud. We also invited this time the Special Education Unit. We talk about inclusivity. We also invited this time the Special Education Unit. We talk about inclusivity. So we can't leave one unit out at all. Anyone here from the Special Education Unit? All right, she's anyone? Following her, all right, she's on Children's Affairs Unit. Children's Affairs. Following her, we invite the Children's Affairs Unit. From Children's Affairs. Children's Affairs. All right. Anyone from Children's Affairs? All right.
This next one is a big one. And I believe maybe we need 2 sets of hands for this. This next one is a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome and I believe maybe we need 2 sets of hands for this. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Region 1.
Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna bang to Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh, no.
The Youth and Adolescent Policy Division. Anyone from that division here? Coming again? All right.
Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock.
So this is Youth and Adolescent. Another big one. Planning and Development Division. We need 2 sets of hands. Another big one. Planning and Development Division. We need 2 sets of hands for that too. Moving. Here we go. This is DJ Cooley. Round of applause for the core curriculum unit. The entire unit came out, man.
Chorando se foi quem dia só me fez chorar.
Two hands for core. Oh, we need 2 hands for core. So another hand may be needed to assist her. Yes, my dear. Pull on the stilettos. Jamaica Teaching Council, JTC. Any representative from the JTC? Yes.
My life. Last night a DJ saved my life. Yeah.
Do we have anyone here from the facilities management unit? Do we have anyone here from the facilities management unit? 2 hands. We need 2 hands. Not just the hands of one person, but 2 persons' hands. This one looks heavy. 2 sets of hands. 2 pairs. No one else is coming with her?
So the name of our section is now the Property Security and Asset Management Unit. Okay, so the name of our section is now the Property Security and Asset Management Unit.
I stand corrected.
White soul.
Give it up for pizza. Pizza. Give it up for pizza. Let's have the National Council on Education. Is anyone from NCE here? This is just right down there. The office is just right down there. Any representative from NCE? Okay, the final one for Mrs. Donald. We have the Office of the Permanent Secretary. Do we have any representative here? But of course, Mr. Buchanan.
Moving at the speed of light into eternity. Tonight is the night. Join me in so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Donald, for your support. And now we invite the lovely lady and one of the biggest cheerleaders here, Mrs. Juliet. Last but not least, we have the Financial and Accounting Unit. Big unit, you know. Everyone got paid?
I'm sorry.
And that is
You
why
have
they're
no
not here.
credit
They're
left.
working on ensuring that everyone seated here sees it by the end of the day. So they're not here. Okay? Okay. Someone is here who may to collect? Mr. Banton? Mr. Banton, we're asking you just to collect for them. We know that's not your department, but just to represent them. So put your hands together for Financial Unit, Finance and Accounting Division. They are busy working to ensure that everyone at the end of the day is able to smile. So you can understand.
This is DJ Cooley.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Lakeman. Thank you so much, Mrs. Lakeman. All right, so we have more. Anyone from the Corporate Services Unit here? But of course, two hands. We need two pairs of hands to support the unit at this time. Mrs. Denise Pitter. Let me pause to also recognize in our midst Mrs. Denise Pitter from the PMAS unit, or Director of PMAS. Put your hands together for Mrs. Pitter, who is just crouched at the front. All right. So thank you so much now, Mrs. Lakeman, for supporting handing out of these. Someone is now here from them? Okay, so I'm told a representative from NCE is now here. NCE? Put your hands together for NCE, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for NCE, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's go somewhere no one else can see you and me. Turn the lights out now. Now I'll take you by the hand you another drink. Drink it if you
Can you spend a little time? Time is slipping away, away from us, so stay with
I
me.
think Mrs. Lakeman has gotten the most thank yous. Once again, thank you so much, Mrs. Lakeman, for assisting with handing out the tokens.
I'm glad you came.
Are we missing any?
The way that you
Are the
no example of a love that
And not to be left out are the remaining regions. You will also receive your tokens. It's only because Region 1 is on spot. But we acknowledge all our other 6 regions. You will also be recognized. I believe they are also watching online. Make some noise for those who are watching online. Excellent. And we're coming down quite nicely. Don't you think? Yes, we're doing well. We're doing well. So at this time, I'm going to invite to move the vote of thanks Mrs. Raquel McEachron Copeland, Administrative Assistant within the Tertiary Unit. Please put your hands together for Mrs. McEachron Copeland.
All protocols observed. Pleasant afternoon, all. On behalf of myself and the administrative professionals here today, I would like to express sincere gratitude to the Ministry of Education and Youth, especially our permanent secretary, Mrs. Dwyer, our senior director, Ms. Campbell, our senior director, Mrs. Donald, Mrs. Lakeman, Ms. Donna Graham, Mrs. Anelia Wallace-Muir, Mrs. Peter, Mrs. Hall-White, Mr. Goodison, who all have played an integral part in this appreciation ceremony. Your support and encouragement have been invaluable to us, and we are truly grateful for you taking the time to honor and recognize us today. To our guest speaker, Mr. Boucher, your words have been truly inspiring and has left a lasting impact on us, and we appreciate the effort you took in preparing and coming here today to present the speech to us. We thank you. Also, special thanks to our Master of Ceremony, Dr. Morgan Smith, who did an excellent job in hosting this event. I would also like to thank the organizers and volunteers who worked very hard to make this event a success. Also to the catering team, the decorators, we appreciate the work you have done to make this a memorable occasion. To you, our administrative professionals, I must say, thanks for your outstanding contribution, which adds value to the Ministry of Education. Your hard work and dedication has been an inspiration to the ministry, and as we leave here today, I want to remind you that we are portraits of excellence. Let us continue on that path. Thank you.
I could not have said thank you better myself. I could not have said thank you better myself. And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we close the curtains on this event, would be remiss of us before we close the curtains on this event. The school's operations unit. It would be remiss of us to leave out the school's operations unit. And also the guidance unit. So I know it is sweet treats time. To return to the but I'm going to invite Mrs. Lakeman to return to the platform area and assist us with these two. The school's operations unit and the guidance unit. Are here, so we must ensure they are recognized. Put your hands together for and them. Their representatives are here, so we must ensure they are recognized. Put your hands together for them. I know the hands are busy enjoying sweet treats, lifting sweet treats. I'm sure HFLE would love to hear me say that. Please ensure you have lots of water. I'm sure HFLE would love to hear me say that. Lots of water. Mr. Photographer. Mr. Photographer. Operation. So that was the school's operations unit, and now we'll have the guidance unit. Put your hands together for them. Ensuring we did not leave out those units. Remind everyone of the upcoming Africa Day. And I suppose with this tune we can remind everyone of the upcoming Africa Day. Africa Day is coming. So I suppose DJ Cooley wanted to remind us. So after the ceremony, we ask that everyone gathers for a group photo. We want to take a big picture with everyone on the stage area after the event is through. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to pause, stand with me, as we will now sing the national anthem. Are we ready? Out of many, you may be seated and have your sweet treats. Indeed, it was my esteemed pleasure and honor to have been your pilot, driver, cheerleader, master of ceremonies for this wonderful occasion. Administrative professionals, please never see yourselves as less than. You are very important and valuable to the team. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.
Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith, our efficient and wonderful Master of Ceremonies. We want to thank you today for taking the time out of your busy schedule. When I called you, you said a resounding yes. And I really appreciate you taking the time out from St. Anne, driving all the way to come to Kingston to do this for us. We want to appreciate you and we want to thank you for what you did. And we really enjoyed your vibrancy and your little mix here and there. And we wish you all the best and a safe journey back to St. Anne.
Calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom, phantom. If I tell you say I love you, no day for me, young girl. Baby, gon' give me your lo 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 lo. You got me like whoa 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 whoa. Shawty gon' give me your lo 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 whoa 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 whoa. I see this fine girl from my party, she wear yellow. Every other girl they do too much, but this girl mellow. Now in my divine situation, I go use they tell I'm mellow. Finally I find way to talk to the girl, but she ain't no one follow. When you gonna phone for one? When you know I phone for one? Then I start to feel a bum bum one. But she dey give me small small one. I know say she's a bit pass it down one one. But she feeling insecure, cause her friends go they go my light ring go on. Go they go my light ring go on. Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, you put in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom, phantom. If I tell you say I love you, you know they for me, young girl, oh young girl. No, tell me no, 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 oh, 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 oh. Baby, gon' give me your lo, 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 oh, 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 oh. You got me like whoa, 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 whoa. Shawty gon' give me your lo, lo, lo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would really want to have a nice group picture of ladies and gentlemen, we would really want to have a nice group picture of you all so we can have it for future reference. So we ask that you come up. We're going to do it, and then we have with the directors and so on. Thank you so much. Oh, and the bus is on the outside, so we're going to need some help. Pardon? Going back down. So do enjoy the rest of the day. Oh, and the bus is on the outside for those who are going back down. So do enjoy the rest of the day. Take the picture with us, please. Thank you very much.
See many people there outside where they feed man's hope. I mean, I stand the defender like those of you. But girl said she on Netflix and chill. So I chat to you, get it on. If you fall in love, tell me something. You go to breakfast after coffee. And you see drip pool, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a quest and feet, I just want it. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you you right. All I care for the night. If I broke, now my business.
Jealous me. If you want to take us serious, I do touch speed. Look at the rest of it, I'm on a different frequency. I don't think it's necessary. I be able to somebody that you do like me. When I feel like Messiah coming off the right wing, I cut it like a friend. I cut it like a friend. I'm a dancer style. I know everybody you go like. Still me irie. Cause we no love life. You know, so every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the lights. Do it for the love, we not do it for the lights. Do it for the love, we not do it for the lights. Do it for the love, we not do it for the lights. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the light. Do it for the love, we not do it for the light. No for them love light, that's alright. Sit down in a post and a tweet all night. Sit down on social media type. While like 7 days studio advice. Here we go! So much likes to me. I'm always still a lead by iTunes. Simple. Here we go! Back in. If you put the music first, that's all. While we they on a war and a hype. We work. When you see me, yes, and I see I. And every truth, mommy, never right. And every show where we head night. No, we not do it for the likes. We tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the light. I love my life. No, that we don't know where tomorrow might bring, cause the future the hours away. So me, I live my life today. Me, I live my life today. Yeah, so love me, make me talk what I want to talk. Me have enough to say. So me, I live my life today. Me, I live my life today. So everybody help me sing it out. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. So me, I live my life today. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. So me, I live my life today. Make a change, don't make a body change, don't make a body change, don't make a body change. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm a chicken dynamite. I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my life. Them no fit kill my life. Them no fit kill. Them no fit kill my wise man said, follow the stars. Yeah, you shall find a piece of advice. If you hit your enemies, enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. But you can never try. You can never try. You can never try. Every passing must work. Work. Every passing must work. Work harder. Every passing must work. Work. Every passing must work. Here we go!
Girl, now you the ginger. If you know how you the cause it drop. Shit, you know go one person. Love the way you the dance, girl. I am ready. Why they call love Friday? Mommy, be cool. Let's hop in my Maserati. Baby, hop in my Maserati. I said hop in my Maserati. Hop in my Maserati. Girl, I wanna see you go down. Yeah, say me I love the way you bend body. Hop in my Maserati. Baby, hop in my Maserati. And I just wanna see you ride. Somebody need somebody. My body, your body. Follow me. Somebody, my body, follow me. Let me give you body right. My baby, my Valentine. Can I hit the make you what temperature is? If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. Loving the thought in me, I am so obsessed. I want to chop your heart. Never need a mechanism. Open and make us feel. Give me love one thing. Me make a bad man sing. I follow come that is really good. I got the finish work. Without you, I could feel lose my mind. Without you, I could feel fall and die. Without you, I could give up my life. Without you, never need a mechanism. This is DJ Cooley.
Computer to me take CD.
But if you ask them know me. I know the flow trees, only know me. Music flows me, just know this and know me. I know me, but I never know me. Sexy ladies, come wife me slowly. I love the way I sing, and the way you believe that. I be like the way I be seen that. Yeah, nobody only me over. And the love that they go far. Who's a go, but I live by.
side.